Alex Jenny, also known as the Drag Therapist, and you're watching The Moment. Thank you so much for joining me for this premiere show. I am so excited to have you all. This show is a show that is centered around trans people and trans feminine people and queer and trans people of color. And so I am just so honored and humbled. Before I started doing drag, I was in grad school. That's what brought me to Chicago. I was in grad school training to become a social worker and a therapist, and I've been working as a therapist now for the last 4 years, specializing in being a trauma-informed, trans-affirming therapist. And, as I was working during the day, supporting people, and shaking my ass for dollar bills at night in the club, I found it really difficult to really kind of integrate all the parts of me. White supremacy within therapy and social work tells me that I am not allowed to be loud in the room. I'm not allowed to be extra in the room. I'm not allowed to be authentic in those ways because we've coded professionalism, especially within the therapy world, as being a blank slate, or making sure that we hide parts of ourselves from the therapeutic relationship in the name of professionalism. And I had a problem with that, and I didn't know how to both be able to say publicly that I was a therapist, but also a drag queen. Would my trans identity, would my drag persona take away from the ways in which I was seen as a professional? And so after a few years of reflection, I've said, fuck that. I am both a drag queen and a therapist. I'm sickening at both, in addition to, all the other side hustles I have constantly going. But this is, my own personal kind of step towards saying, you will accept all of me. So again, thank you all for joining me and being a part of what it means for me to reintegrate myself. But today we have a regular girl from Chicago, yes, our beloved. We have Cat Wilderness from Miami, and we have Ivy Fisher from Atlanta. Sickening trans women of color who are also drag artists and drag performers. And I think that's truly what I want to do with this show, to be able to elevate the voices that I don't see elevated enough and celebrated enough. Yeah, I'm so excited. And then I'm so excited to have Lasiah Wade, the founder of Brave States Alliance, be joining us. My vision with The Moment is a chance for us to highlight people in our community that are giving, living icons. They are the moment. She is the moment. We are collectively in this moment, right? And so that's what I really want to be able to do. I want to be able to highlight queer and trans people of color who are doing amazing work, creating amazing art. This show really was born out of my fantasies in my bedroom as a teenager. I was obsessed with reality television and dreamt of becoming a reality TV personality. And as I was going through grad school even and looking at, okay, so who are the figures that are talking about mental health? Who are the Dr. Phils, the Oprahs, the Ayanla? My big vision for what it means for me to identify as the drag therapist is to become someone who can speak about trans issues and the things that trans people need and go through in the name of healing and survival from a trans perspective and inherently trans affirming perspective, right? It is time that we have people out there speaking on behalf of our communities that know what we're talking about and can speak to our own experiences. And I also want to take a moment to say that I'm so grateful to have a chance to have the mic passed to me after a really tumultuous summer, where Black drag performers, specifically the Chicago Black Drag Council, has been doing so much work to change the face of the city and queer nightlife, to say, that we deserve the mic, and so I also need to acknowledge the work and sacrifices that the Black drag performers in the city have done on behalf of all performers of color and really all performers, period, to be included. So yeah, I have the motherfucking mic and we're about to heal, okay? So I want to be able to, yeah, uplift trans people without, always asking them about their transition, always asking them invasive questions about their bodies, and to say, we are so much more than what the cis lens has focused on. Again, thank you all for being a part of this vision. I, can't make this happen without your support, and I am so excited to jump into the first performance, okay? So let's get into it. Make sure to tip our performers by paying the cover and sending a suggested donation. All of the proceeds are gonna go towards the artists that are performing today, as well as the Brave Space Alliance. With that being said, let's get into it. Welcome to The Moment.
Hi everyone, it's Kat Wilderness here, and I'm so excited and so honored to be on the first episode of The Moment with Miss Alex Janey. Girl, you don't gotta tell the people in Florida that Florida ain't it. We know. So the first part of my name, Kat, came from a trans YouTuber named Kat Black, and at the time I wasn't so confident. Your girl, had a lot of insecurity. So I was inspired to name myself after her to get a little bit of confidence. And Wilderness came actually from a dream. And I was like, Kat Wilderness, that is not a name, but it's like a name. How I had to do so much today, chores wise, cause bitch, your girl did adult things today. Definitely, to inspire more trans women to do drag and kind of keep the lineage going on. I want to see more. I want to see more trans queens, trans women that do drag are so important. So hopefully just me being here and I can inspire more trans queens to come up. I don't know, I put a lot out there. I put a lot out there, y'all. Something a lot of people actually don't know about me is probably the fact that I'm very, very introverted. Oh. Sorry, I gotta adjust. Baby, this is the throw on and go. Oh, excuse me. I ate ramen before this, so I'm little. Very, very pop star. That's still very, very much who I am. It definitely probably would have to be an oversized sweater. Shout out to Ariana Grande. Younger me. I know younger me would probably be gagging about what I've done now. But in the beginning, for the first 2 years of my drag, I literally took my little rinky-dinky hoopty and drove 2 hours to Miami from where I was living, and then from Miami 2 hours home. And to perform without that hustle, I don't think I would be here. I know I wouldn't be here, especially now with being trans, to maybe have a little bit more confidence and know that you're a bad bitch and you're gonna be a bad bitch. If you're good with you and you're doing good in the world and you're inspiring people and you're making your family proud, then you're good. Just continue doing that and then you'll be fine. I feel like that was such a moment. You know what? I remember. It had to be in kindergarten. I had a dream the night before that I was able to fly. I wanted to try it. I literally got on the top of the slide, a story high. And I literally jumped off and I broke my arm. So I've always been a dumb bitch. In the beginning, I had a lot of people just telling me you should wear wigs, you should wear pads, you should wear this, you should wear that. Honestly, for the first 2 years of me doing drag, I did not do any of that. And I made it into some of the local scenes, best shows. It was probably because I was so determined to prove them wrong. Listen, this is what I bring to the table. But don't let anyone dictate where your drag should go. It really will show if you are 100% authentically yourself. Positions. Can I say the album? Cause y'all, I mean, is anyone surprised? It'd be a drawstring ponytail, the top with brandy lipstick, positions of the physical album cover. You put that all together, I'll be right there. I might be trans. I love y'all. Bye.
Hi. So we have with us Tia Wade, founder of the Brave Space Alliance, a Black trans-led nonprofit serving the South and West Side of Chicago. I am so honored to have you here. If you could just quickly introduce yourself and share whatever else you'd like about your work and who you are before I kind of jump into the interview.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lasaya Wade, MBA, CPA. I'm also the executive director and founder of Brace Based Alliance, which is the first LGBT community center fully ran by Black and Brown transgender conforming people on the South Side. We are now have the biggest, one of the three largest mutual aid groups in Chicago, serving over 100,000 people within 3 months, and continue to serve people over 2,000 people weekly with our food pantry. We will continue to do our radical politics. We say fuck the police. We say make sure the power is always to the people, and we will always do ground bases for people themselves, even when it comes to making sure it's a radical politic and we always get pushback. So it doesn't matter. We are here for liberation and freedom for all people.
Yes, that introduction was sickening. You all are doing so much work. I, keep hearing new amazing things coming out about the work that y'all are doing. I just saw like a makeup room that's sickening. And when I thought about who I wanted to have for this premiere show, like I just couldn't think of anyone else besides you. Like I still remember the first time that we met when I first moved to the city, like 4 years ago, and you were just talking about this. It was still an idea. I vividly remember that conversation, and you were like, yeah, like I went to this graduate program and I'm trying to, apply for these grants and make this happen. And just being able to watch your power of manifestation and get that light like shown on me just from watching it, and it's been so inspiring. And so yeah, thank you again for being here, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's like you said, it's an uphill battle, but it's something that I enjoy. I'm a fighter. My partner tells me I fight too much against him and everyone else, but it's just in my blood to continue to fight, to continue to push, and continue to bulldoze the things that are in my way.
Yes, absolutely. So I would love to start off this interview by just kind of asking you, like, what did it take for you to make Brave Space Alliance a reality? What life experiences do you feel like really like set you up on this path? And yeah, what has that looked like for you?
Blood, sweat, and tears. More tears than blood. A lot of coming home crying to my partner. A lot of coming home understanding that I might have to do things to please the city and the state, to maneuver things the way they need to be maneuvered for the survival and thriving of my population, even turn myself into a person that I never wanted to be, to make sure I'm able to get jobs and resources to my community.
Yeah, absolutely. I that finessing, that like navigation of these systems is so precarious, and I hear you when you're saying like, I kind of had to become this person that I never wanted to become, but also that is in the name of lives that you're saving and affecting because of that work, right? And eventually the ideal is creating a world where we don't have to compromise any of our values in order to do that. Unfortunately, that's not the reality. So I absolutely hear you. When it comes to navigating some of those systems and talking to the city and being in some of these rooms that are unsympathetic to trans people, right? What does it take to be heard?
Sometimes it takes cussing to be heard in these particular spaces. A lot of the times, most of my community don't understand that you have to, in these particular spaces, have letters behind your name. They have to know that you have been doing the work for so long, or you have the numbers or the backing to do this particular type of work. Because most of the time, to be honest, I get more pushback from my community than I do get from organizations or even funders to give the resources to my community. I think seeing me as a Black trans woman in this position, right? Why her? Why do she get to be the person to speak for us? Why do she get to be in these positions? And I never said I wanted to, right? But I also know how this system works. I also know that you have to have a particular language, you have to have a particular type of education, you have to be able to do particular things in these spaces. And with me being a Black body that does, I know I have to sometimes get that backlash to maneuver resources to be able to pull them down in a particular manner. And cuss in these particular spaces. Cussing is a part of my language. And the reason why I say cussing is part of my language, I was raised in a household where my mother cussed like a sailor. And it was just, if you're going to cuss, what is the definition of that cuss word? And are you using it in the correct sentence? Is it a comma or explanation point behind that word? Are you going to, is that a run-on sentence? You need to correct that, right? I think that's the biggest process for me, because normally we've whispered, we said what we wanted, we continue to say what we wanted, but until I say, bitch, do you hear me? You never heard me before. Now I have become an aggressor. Now I've become a person that is the angry Black woman per se. You're the stereotypical trans person in this space. And that is a narrative that I want to push against, because as a Black woman, that is the first thing that you see in me is aggression when I come into a space anyways, regardless if I'm coming in white or Black or even purple.
Right. And so, yeah, I kind of see that in line with you kind of taking back pieces of yourself that you feel like you needed to give up in order to even get into those rooms, right? Saying like, yeah, I had to become this person that I didn't ever want to become, but, you know, I'm going to also work to undo that in small way. And I mean, not small, it's monumental, right? To be able to walk into this room and say, if you can't hear me when I use your language, I'm going to use my language, and then you're definitely going to hear me then, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's really, really, I think, helpful for people to hear, because I think we get into this notion that like we have to play by the rules, quote unquote, like only, and that there aren't ways for us to like push back against that, you know? So I guess the next question I really want to ask is like, what feels like your proudest accomplishment when it comes to the Brave Space Alliance? Or like, what's like a memory that like that filled you with like, oh wow, like all of those tears, all of that work was like worth it?
BSA has been put in outer spaces for I don't know how long by collectives and organizations that say they're for us, but when we step into space to be our full powerful selves, they were never really ready. I think that you remember multiple spaces that I have been in to push BSA forward. BSA owns its own building now. After all the work that we have done, I think that was I cried all night. That was the proudest moment that I can say BSA can ever do, and no one can ever take away from BSA, is that we have a home, and is being renovated to the way that we want it to be renovated, and to serve the populations that we are trying to serve and center in this space. Everyone is welcome to this space, but we center the lives of Black and brown trans people.
Right. Oh, and that is so important, because I myself, and I know so many other people who work in predominantly white, gay and lesbian spaces, and where, our energy gets taken away from our communities because we are yelling and screaming at these people who don't give a fuck about us to give us money and to give us attention. And so to see an organization like Brave Space Alliance that's led by someone so clear in vision, right? I see you as someone who is clear in your vision, who is headfast and headstrong. And it's just something that I think a few years ago when I was even in grad school, thinking about what was possible for me, like was a fantasy, right? And so for you to be doing that, for you to be like ushering in this new world in that way, I find to be just so admirable. What advice would you give to a young queer person of color or trans person of color who might want to follow into your footsteps and say, I want to affect my community, and how can I do that?
I know it's going to be a hard-hitting thing, but you have to be more than trans in this space. You cannot come in and thinking just your transness is going to level you up, and it's not giving that, right? And also it's going to create a whole person on top of that. So you have to be more than trans. You have to maneuver away from the narrative. My transness will help me thrive and survive, because it's not. Educate yourself. I think the biggest thing for me, and I was lucky enough to have people around me to push me towards my education, even when it's bad. People are pushing me in a way that I have to get my education, because I don't want that to happen again, right? I don't want that to be the narrative that I am upholding to. I don't want them to say that I don't have the education nor the knowledge to be able to do what I do today, right? There's a lot of people that have placed upon, I've been doing this work for 10 plus years, right? But do not have the uphold or the education to push themselves forward past the front desk. And that's the heavy hitting part, right? And it's hard to hear that. And I don't think people are really telling the blunt truth around that. Yes, you deserve everything, because everything was taken from you. But for you to get what you deserve, you have to surpass your predecessors. You have to surpass the people that are holding you down. And that is what I'm doing and moving forward, because I'm surpassing them. My ancestors are always above me, but I also know that I have to surpass my ancestors in education and language to surpass my oppressors in a particular way.
Wow. That last part really gave me chills, and was just so emotional to think about, because I often think about what it means for me to walk in the steps of my ancestors, but also say, and I am more than my ancestors. I am the manifestation of their wildest dreams. They couldn't even fathom that I could exist in their bloodline, right? And they're watching over, and I'm saying, thank you for your guidance, and also I'm going to take us farther than you ever thought we could go, right? And I hear you saying that, and that's so powerful to be able to say, yes, what does it mean for me to one day be an ancestor, be seen as an elder already, because so many of our trans siblings and sisters are their lives are being cut short. And so what does it mean for us to continue to be alive and survive, and then do that work to create a world where that's not happening anymore, So thank you for sharing that. You talk a little bit about too, how people were pushing you forward throughout your journey. Who were some of those people, and what did that support look like? When you were at your lowest of lows, how did you reach out for help? Who did you reach out for? What did you ask for? What does that look like?
So I'm a different type of being. I'm just going to put, everyone was raised differently. Everyone has a different background. I've always been a bulldozer. My nickname when I was a child was Bam Bam, because I tore up everything as I went through. But for me, the first aspect of my mother, and I'm going to be very blunt, my mother told me and came to me, how are you going to tell me who you are when you don't even know who the fuck you are? And you need to go upstairs, figure out who the fuck you are, and then come back to me. And in that moment, I was like, that was a challenge. I'm like, bitch, you're not going to sit here and tell me who the hell I am? Do you not know who I am? So I had to think for a second of what do you mean? So I had to educate myself, and I had to figure out what trans this actually really is, and why am I going into the space saying I'm a woman and don't have the education or language to push forward why I'm a woman or why I'm trans. They should just expect to respect me in a particular manner, but that isn't always the case, and you have to be able to educate uneducated people. So in that aspect, that was the first challenge, and my mother put a fire up under me in a way of, she knew who I was, and she knew how I would take that, right? The second one was my father. he'll tell you, like, we have a amazing relationship now. Back then, we will box in the house, we will fight, and I told myself, this is the chain that I want to break.
Mm.
This is what I do not want to pass down to my children. And if I can change your mind as my father, then therefore I can change anyone's mind. And no one can tell me of such, right? And my father is a deep Baptist man. And my father was a deep homophobic man too, and so homophobic. And I remember the earliest sight of homophobia for my father is we went to Ryan's, which was a all-you-can-eat buffet, and he saw a group of gay men come in, and I was no older than 7 or 8. He had to go outside and throw up because these gay men. That just shows you how deep and enriched that homophobia was. And I'm like, I want to break that chain. And I'm going to have to do everything I possibly can to break that chain as I got older. I loved on my father when my father didn't love on me. I educated my father when my father did not know what education looks like. I gave him what he needed in particular ways that he could never receive from me. I extended that because I was raised in a household where we were a pack of wolves and it was nothing but us. So I had no other choice but to give you a fight back because I want to live happy. I want to be able to pass down what I had got from you to my children or my predecessors that come up from behind me, and let them know that I was able to change your mind. Because my father is a good man, right? But he wasn't educated. He wasn't loved the way he was supposed to be loved, right? He was raised in an era where they took away the love aspect and say you have to grow up to be a man. In a society that deemed Black men as the enemy. So I understood that linkage. I understood that the oppression that he had to go through. I understood what that is. So I had to give space to that. And if we don't give space to that, then therefore we're not breaking the chains that we're supposed to be breaking. So that was my second challenge. My third challenge was to learn how to be happy as a trans. And I learned how to be happy as a trans woman from my gay mother, motherfucking Spencer. And the way I say that is because the power of her name herself gives me the understanding that I can be that. She gave me that, where my mother only told me how to be a woman, but she taught me how to be a happy trans woman and to be able to push forward in my transness and don't give no cares around the people around me. So I carry these three different weights on my shoulders because I've learned that this is what trans women or trans femmes have not been able to receive in a particular manner. How to be happy in your transness. And it's not a delusion of who you are. And it's not a particular narrative. Yes, you can be happy, colorful, and do everything. Because I'm a queen.
Hello, yes.
And I will be respected and loved on as a queen. And she taught me what that looks like. She fed into me in that particular manner of what it is, the importance around education and pushing my professionalism in a particular manner, surpassing my womanhood and going into my empowerness around my womanhood. So it's a particular type of learning that she pushed upon me that I have flourished in today.
Wow. Thank you for sharing all of that. I'm like, whoa, I need to take a moment. I'm like, it's very overwhelming to hear you speak so powerfully and with such, again, just like that crystal clear, like trust in yourself. You know, like that's what I call that, like that knowing, you know, of like, I do know myself. And when I speak, I share that I know myself, you know what I mean? And I felt that from you. And I'm getting emotional because when you were talking about like what it means, oh no, I'm like, oh no, when you were talking about what it means to be a happy trans woman, like that really is, it really got me. And, wow, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay because we've been told that we can't be happy. We've been told, and this the happiness, because I'm trying not to get emotional too, that we can't love on each other in a particular manner because that's gay, right? We're not supposed to love on each other. Baby, I love you.
I love you.
You know, I love you. I love every bitch in Chicago, throughout this motherfucking world. It's because I have no other choice. Because no one else is going to give it to you the way we give it to each other. It is nothing like a feel of going to lunch with your girls.
Yes.
And that in this particular moment, that has been snatched away from us because we're in COVID and the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
But moving forward, we need to learn and know this, how to maneuver and be happy in our transness in a particular manner, or be a happy trans woman or happy trans masculine person or man in a particular way, because we deserve that.
Yeah.
And then once they snatch that from you, they won.
Yeah, absolutely.
They won.
Absolutely. And what are we even fighting for, right? If we're not centering our joy and our art and our magic, right? And I think, you know, it touched a chord in me because, well, first of all, I just started estrogen not too long ago, so I'm just like, my hormones are all over the place. But it really got me because I've been reflecting, and I think like, oh, like when you were talking, I was like, do I know how to be a happy trans woman? Like, I think that I do, but I also think I have been so used to being a scared trans woman, and you know, a bitter trans woman and an angry trans woman, you know, and I think I know how to pretend to be a happy trans woman, but I hope one day I'm actually as happy as I pretend to be on the internet, right? Like, that's the dream. And so, and I think this, just sharing the space with you, you know, we haven't been able to obviously be in person with community, and so I just, again, I'm so grateful for you doing this with me, and sharing that knowledge and imparting that onto me and everyone who's watching. And I want to quickly also say that what you said about your father really, really got me too. And it's that acknowledgement and understanding and compassion that this person, our parents or whoever, did not receive the kind of love that they deserved, and therefore do not know how to give that love to either themselves or other people, including their children. And so for you to be able to say, I'm going to love on you the way I wish you loved on me. And I'm going to give you that benefit of the doubt and that patience because I know that you didn't know any better. But now that I do, I'm going to show you that you can too. And that is so powerful and so beautiful. So I think this is a good time to take a little bit of a break so I can, you know, gather myself. And so we're going to cut to the next performer who's going to give us a sickening performance, and we'll be right back.
Hi everyone, my name is Ivy Fisher and I am coming to you loud, live, and in color, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a 22-year-old content creator who also performs and likes to produce videos, which is why I'm so excited to be a part of the show. Thank you so much to Jenny and everyone a part of A Queer Pride for putting on everything, and thank y'all so much for watching. But yeah, I am just so really like driven by art and music and expression, ornamentation, beauty, nature, all of these things that inspire me to create new projects and start on anything new. I am like so here for, and I am a super firm believer that drag and performance artistry is for anyone, and that this is a platform for any type of person, any type of performer to come and show off and do their shit and do it well, which is what I do, or which is what I think I do. I don't know. Y'all can let me know down in the comments below. I don't know, are there gonna be comments? I don't even know. Let me fix this. Is this outfit cute? Do you like my body? Oh, I got a text. But yeah, I am just super inspired by other performance artists and just being in a realm of like digital only performance artistry is super, super cool for me because I like went to school for videography and like video editing and things. So this is like such a great like transition into the real world, if you know what I mean. And I'm just like always excited to make videos, and I am just like super excited for this show. So like I said, thank you again. Y'all be cute, y'all stay cool. I'm gonna try to stay cool because it's kind of hot in this turtleneck right now. Bitch, I got on a turtleneck and I have on like this is like a fleece vest. And I live in Georgia, and it's, even though it's October, it's still 80 degrees outside. I don't like that. I don't like that. So anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. And be sure to follow me on Instagram. If you want to follow me on Patreon, you can find my content there. Instagram at ivy.fischer. If you want to see any more of my videos, you can check them out there as well. And yeah. Oh my god, don't put that cringy shit in. Actually, I'm gonna like start that whole part over. So if we could just this is like so, oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna start that last part over. What was I gonna say? Oh. If you'd like to find more of my content and check out my other videos, you can find me on Instagram at Ivy Fisher. And I also have a Patreon where I post all my videos. So if you want to see them, that would be cool if you subscribe as well. That would be really fucking cute. Thank you. Oh. And yeah, thanks for watching. Enjoy the show. See you later. Love y'all. Bye. See ya. See you later. Okay. Oh my god, I'm a mess. Okay, bye. How did she do it? Okay, you can start the music now.
Boy, oh, killing me softly, and I'm still falling, still the one I need. I will always be with you. Oh, you got me all gone. Don't ever let me go. Say you're real loud if you fly. If you leave me, you out of your mind. We dress into the he picked me up, we made me feel so lucky. He kissed me in his we be making love and still the one I do this. I'm trying to make us still the one. There's ups and downs in this lower. Got a lot to learn in this lower. Through the good and the bad, still got lower. Dedicated to the one I love. Yeah. Still love the way he talks. Still love the way I sing. Still love the way he rock them black diamonds in that chain. Still all up on each other, ain't a damn thing changed. My girls can't tell me nothing, I'm gone in the brain. I'm all up under him like it's cold winter time. All up in the kitchen in my heels, dinner time. Do whatever that it takes, he got a winner's mind. Give it all to him, meet him at the finish line. Me and my boo, riding. All up in that black with his chick right beside him. Ladies, if you love your man, show him you the flyest. Grind up on it, girl, show him how you ride it. Me and my boo, riding. All up in that black with his chick right beside him. Ladies, if you love your man, show him you the flyest. Grind up on it, girl, show him how you ride it. Oh, killing me softly, and I'm still falling, still the one I need. I will always be with you. Oh, you got me all gone. Don't ever let me go. Say you're real loud if you fly. If you leave me, you out of your mind. We dress into the he picked me up, we made me feel so lucky. He kissed me in his we be making love and it, girl. Show 'em how you ride it. Me and my booth, lip locking. All up in the back, cause the chicks keep blocking. All that gossip in 10 years, stop it. London, speed it up. Houston, rock it. Oh, killing me softly. And I'm still falling. Still the one I need. I will always be with you. Oh, you got me all gone. Don't ever let me go. Say you real loud if you fly. If you leave me, you out of your mind. We dressing through the night. He picked me up, we made me feel so lucky. He kissed me in his we be making love it. Still the one I do this. I'm trying to make us from that. Still the one.
Took my love and you took it down. Climbed a mountain and you turned around. And I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills, and the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle the seasons of my life? Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older. I'm getting older too. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older. I'm getting older too. Well, I'm getting older too. Yeah, I'm getting older too. Yeah, I'm getting older too. Took my love and you took it down. Climbed a mountain and you turned around. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, the landslide brought me
Okay, welcome back, everyone. I, had a moment and I've collected myself, and we're back. I hope you enjoyed that sickening performance we just watched. And for those of you just tuning in now, we're coming back with Lasiyah Wade, founder of Brave Space Alliance. We were just done talking about her amazing work in the city, and also what it means to break intergenerational cycles and break chains and heal and offer compassion to those who came before us, and also, surpass our ancestors. And it was such a powerful moment. And so now I kind of want to shift to what we were beginning to talk about, which is what it means to hold joy and hold happiness and pleasure as trans people. And I want to ask you, what has been bringing you joy lately?
What has been? I have an amazing partner. I have a fucking amazing partner.
And you two just had a baby.
And I was just about to get in that. But I have to make sure I announce him first, because he gets on me when I was here before the baby. But if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to do the work that I'm doing today.
Mm.
If it wasn't for him, I would not have the capacity to be able to give as much as I give to community.
Mm.
And then my son, my child.
Congratulations.
Thank you. He brings a different type of happiness to me. We can say we have children in the community. Like, I have abundance of children that is like raised up under me, but to have a partner and a child with someone that I really care and love for, I have my own family. So yeah.
Oh.
So that's
yeah.
As queer people, I think we know that's a different type of wanting that we always wanted to complete with ourselves, and never seeing that it was a possibility to even do. I was a girl that, like, I'm too busy trying to buy shoes. Like, if I'm worried about buying shoes, I can't even worry about feeding a child. That mind boggles me. But to hear him like cry is like a screech in my soul, and a different kind of connection that I thought I would never be able to have. Even though this might be our only child, adopting other children in the future will hopefully bring in more joy into this family. I've always wanted a big family, 4 or 5 kids running through the hallway screaming. I want that chaos. I don't want it. I want that chaos. Like, Mama, he done do that. I want that. I want to breathe that motion. I want to be able to walk in the house and be like, why is my house looking like a damn circus? I want that. I want to be able to wake up every moment and knowing that I have unconditional. Like, children bring a different type of unconditional love that I want to be able to give back and cultivate in a particular type of way. So they already have a liberated mind, and I'm not trying to liberate their mind. And that is a different concept. My mothers are telling me that you are literally cultivating what liberation looks like in this moment. And that has brought a different type of joy, that my child will be able to walk outside and say, you're gay and you're trans and
right.
Where's my money? So, I don't care about any of that. Okay, we can barbecue all together, but at the end of the day, my bills need to be paid.
Right.
So that is the type of liberation that I want to be able to cultivate into and push out into the world, that this child will be the pinnacle of, or pinpoint of, what liberatory could possibly be from trans non-binary parents.
Yes. The just, yeah, again, I always go back to like what watching you from a distance has like felt like for me, and I know so many other people, and again, like not only have you pushed the radical possibility and reality of what it means to have a Black trans-led organization, but now just again, just by living your life, right? And that's the tension, right? I want to acknowledge that you are just fucking living your life, and that you did not necessarily want to become this like trailblazer or activist, right? And that life chose us, right? And what you're doing with raising your child and your love and life with your partner and your openness with sharing that journey is so radical and impactful. And you know, when I thought about like whether or not I'm gonna have kids, like it doesn't even feel like a possible consideration. And so I'm like, I don't even have time and space to consider it. And watching you do it, I'm like, wait, maybe that is something that I want to do eventually. You know, it becomes a maybe, a possibility, a consideration, whereas before it was not even considered at all, you know? So share a little bit more about what the process has been like for you from thinking about maybe do we want to have children and how do we have children and how do we navigate those systems in and of itself, to now having your little bundle of joy, you know, crying in your home.
We both wanted kids. We didn't know when, if I wanted to adopt a 5-year-old or higher, because I know I wouldn't be able to handle a newborn by myself. And then particularly if I was a single trans woman, I didn't think I would even be in a relationship this long, to be honest. And being cared for, a recipient care, right? A back and forth, I fill your bowl, you fill my bowl, type of relationship. So he knew that he wanted kids. He didn't know how. But we came into a set like, let's try it. We tried 3 times. Like we got off our hormones and we got back on our hormones. Then we got off our hormones, had a nervous breakdown, then get back on our hormones. And then that last go around, it's like, it's either now or never in this moment. Let's see what we can do. And then we went, and then he was, you know, he'll tell you in a heartbeat, he was angry for a full week. I was like, what the fuck? Why is you always mad at me? I ain't do shit to you. Your mama sure the hell ain't got your drawers on because I can't fit them. And then I come around the corner one morning, I said, I think you're pregnant. And then he looked at me in the kitchen and was like, I went and got some pregnancy tests, and I'm pregnant. I knew it. Now stop mean to me, god damn it. I ain't did shit to you.
Let's hear that baby already is fiery, huh?
The baby is feisty, no shade. Our baby is like feisty boots. But that was like a game changer for us. To, you know, it's, you know, trans people in our own house, we say what we want to say, how we want to say it when we talk to each other. You know, we walk down, 2 trannies having a baby, and we having 2 trannies having a tranny baby. So we you know, we doing our own thing, and how we communicate in our house is how we communicate in our house.
Yes.
And how we define what joy is for us. And to watch him continue to push his farming thing and wanting to have our child to learn what agriculture is, and me wanting our child to learn mathematics in a particular way. And it's just exciting. We're not trying to put nothing on them, but also we want to make sure that they are ready for the world.
Yes.
Because we have a lot coming at them, right? But yeah, it has been a whirlwind journey, explicitly because we're in a pandemic, right? What's the saddest thing about this is because before the pandemic happened, we had a baby shower theme party ready to go off the lake and wanted to enjoy that moment with friends and family throughout Chicagoland, and could not even do that because we didn't know what COVID was at that moment. People that were pregnant were dying with their kids with COVID. Babies that were getting COVID were dying with COVID. And we were in a panic mode, and we shut ourselves behind the closed doors and worked from home. And I think that was the best choice that we did. So and no one has ever really seen the baby unless they were his godparents that he chose, because they had to get tested and wait a few days before they can come over. And I think that's the world that we live in now. Like, I don't ask for HIV test by itself. I need an HIV, STI, and a COVID test, and then we can meet. But also, I need an HIV, STI, COVID test every time we meet moving forward. So yeah, I think this new pinpoint of how society will be ran after these moments, it's making sure he's protected, making sure my partner is still protected because he's still healing as well. So yeah, that's how it's happening right now.
Yeah, I just, again, can't even imagine what, starting a family like that and having a child in a pandemic means, right? And the resilience that it must take and the community that it must take. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I'm so happy for you all. And just, overwhelmed. I know this is just as we protect and uplift you, we will protect and uplift your child, and that is the community's baby, whether or not you like it or not, right? Like,
I know, I already know. That's why we're preparing them for the world, because they're going to have a lot coming at them.
Right.
And explicitly, when their parents are Xavier Mara and their mother is Messiah Wade.
One last kind of question area that I would love to ask you is, what does your self-care routine look like, and what is something that you can't go without? What keeps you going?
I almost went crazy in this household during quarantine, because I had to figure out what my new self-care regimen was, and how do I figure out I can't get my hair done like I used to. I can't get my nails or feet done like I used to. I can't get my facials done like I used to. I can't let nobody just hover over me and the slob and spit come down to my particular face. Like, that literally drove me crazy, because that was my self-care routine.
Yep.
So I'm a liberated girl. I don't care. I have my marijuana card. You can't do nothing to me. But that has been allowing me to cope. But also, it has allowed me in a particular way during quarantine to figure out my own spirituality, to get back into my witchery ways, to pass down what my mother and my grandmother taught me about being witches in a particular way to my children, and uphold that. I had to really think, like, oh, I can pass down what I was taught to my child.
How exciting.
What? And be able to pass down our ancestry to our child. So that has changed everything for me. I have been really diving into being a witch again, and loving the concept of me being my full self and not caring about this Christian state in a particular way. I know I'm always going to be that black dot on a white t-shirt, but I'm going to be a bigger black dot because I'm going to be black and a witch, and also a political figure that says fuck you too.
Hey.
So that has really been pushing me to continue to thrive. But also, the world has slowly opened, so I got my nails and my hair done, and my feet, and I'm also going to get a facial. So I'm really back into that routine too, but I'm still diving into my witchery as well.
Yes. Yeah. Slowly integrating all the pieces of you. And I think, like, using the forced isolation to really recalibrate and say, what parts of me was I upholding because I needed to move through the world in a certain way that I need to I can let go of now. And then, what parts do I need to recultivate in new ways, in new creative ways, safe ways, to still adhere to public health guidelines, right? And I just hear so much joy coming from you when you talk about the wonder, truly, right? The wonder of what it means to say, oh, I have the opportunity to pass things on now, and I hear you also striking that balance of we're not trying to put any mounting pressure or expectations onto this child, but that child will not say that we did not offer every opportunity to learn.
And that's the most important thing. I want our parents, mostly, I can speak of my own narrative. You can chime in if you feel as though it's part of yours as well, that our parents told us what we have to do, and not leaving that bit and piece of our autonomy for ourselves. I'm here to show you what the world really looks like. I'm here to show you how to maneuver in the world so you don't hit the same walls that I hit, but also understand that I know you're going to hit some of these walls. I'm here to love on you while you hit these walls, and allow you to learn from your mistake without beating you over your head because you made a mistake. That is the difference, and that is the learning process that we are wanting to push forward for them, whoever they want to be in life.
Yes, that's so important. And yeah, I feel like my parents did a really good job, given that they were refugees and didn't really have a good sense of English, but they really pushed me to learn the skills that I needed to make money, right? And I'm making money now, so what, they did that. And I wonder all the time what it would be like if they had pushed me into dance classes and pushed me into activities that centered my joy and my pleasure, or acting or singing or any of the number of creative outlets that I kind of I always talk to my clients about what it means to reparent ourselves. And we talked about this earlier too, to provide the love to ourselves that we didn't get as children. But what does it mean for me to become my own stage mom, right? To be like, Alex, get out of this fucking bed. You're going to go to the fucking dance practice, when things were open, but to reparent ourselves in that way and say, you get access to your joy, and you get access to these things that may or may not make you money, and that's not the only priority, but also here are these practical skills too, because I'm talking about those walls, right? You will hit those walls eventually. So yeah, I love hearing about all of that. Anything else you'd like to share with the people who are watching?
Know that I know you hear it a lot, but know that there are people here willing to love on you when you're ready to be loved on. Not to say that I'm forcing love on you, but know that we are here. But also know BSA is a space where you can come in, cuss, fuss, and tell your disgruntled visions or whatever that you have been through, to help us provide any type of resources that we can provide for you. Multiple things are coming down the pipeline. Our housing is being built on the South Side to cater for trans masculine and trans femmes of center people. That is, now I can announce the name. The name of it is Lucy Hicks Anderson's Housing, Transitional Housing, which a lot of people don't know who Lucy Hicks is. Lucy Hicks herself is a Black trans woman that was married twice before anyone said that trans people can get married. Also, Lucy is a trans woman that created a brothel in the West Coast for trans women and cis women to do sex work safely in a way. She was a pioneer in her time when no one else was doing that particular type of work. And I want to say, Lucy Hicks, thank you for doing this type of work and allowing us to build on your own history.
Wow. Thank you for imparting that reminder, but also that lesson, that history lesson, this herstory lesson, and to remind ourselves that, yeah, when we're ready for it, love is abundant, right? And our joy can be abundant, and that can be possible. So again, Lasaya, motherfucking Wade, thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing your light and your love. For everyone watching, a portion of the cover for this show is going directly to Brave Space Alliance as well as our performers. So please, click, clack, send in those tips, send in that cover so we can support this amazing organization. Again, Lasaya, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate the work that you're doing, and I can't wait to see where you go in the future.
Love you.
Love you, Vaughn.
Yeah. Karen.
Oh my god. Hi, I'm a regular girl. I'm 25. I live in Chicago. I'm a trans girl and a drag performer.
Where does your name originate?
Unfortunately, Alaska Thunderfuck, circa 2016. I'm just a regular girl.
What's the first thing you thought of this morning?
I just got married.
What's something that makes you laugh without fail?
Karen, my cat.
What's a self-care ritual you can't go without?
Taking a bath, very important. Epsom salt and like a bath bomb or two, you're good to go.
What's
I'm gonna grab my cat.
What's something your followers may not know about you? I already asked that. Who's your problematic fave?
Azalea Banks, 10,000%.
What's been your proudest moment to date?
Opening for King Princess. That was amazing. I got to like really share my art and like just do a number that I felt was me, you know, fully me.
What keeps you up at night?
Those opportunities are dwindling, and that and that I maybe won't have them someday.
What do you dream of?
A continued career of devoted and impassioned work.
When you're not performing, what's your go-to outfit?
Sweatpants, 10,000% sweatpants, and no bra.
Who are your biggest inspirations?
My mom.
What's a beauty product you can't leave the house without?
Lip balm. I feel like on the usual I don't like really wear stuff out. Not to work at least.
If you could go back and tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
Wear makeup sooner. Please.
What makes you feel the most alive?
Performing in front of people. The video stuff is great. It's different.
What do you want to be most known for?
Never not being me. Being me, always.
What were you doing right before filming this?
Filming something else.
What's an embarrassing moment you can laugh about now?
Mason jar.
If you could replace our national anthem, what song would you pick?
It's definitely by Nicki Minaj. I'll get back to you. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Starships, but I'll get back to you.
What first drew you to drag?
Free drinks. I noticed that other girls were getting free drinks, and I was like, oh my god, I'm broke.
How do you know you might be burning out, and how do you recharge?
You know you're burning out when it's not fun for you anymore, and you feel like you're doing it for the purpose of doing it, you know? I feel like comes a point in a lot of people's careers where they like feel that way, and that's like not only totally normal, but a part of making, right? I think that it's important to like get out of the studio, as it were, and like recharge your batteries, do something else. I love watching true crime stuff. That's kind of my zone, but you know, there's other ways to recharge. taking a bath.
What song is currently on repeat?
Wait a Minute by Willow. And I Drove All Night. I'm sorry, I'm a creature of habit, and it's become a daily thing. So,
What's your favorite boy band and who's your favorite member?
no real favorite boy band. I think that I had a really big crush on this band in Peru called Joven Sensacion, and they were just like 4 cute blonde, Peruvian dudes dancing atop of Machu Picchu. It was everything that I could dream of.
What fictional characters do you really identify with?
Not enough.
What's your Real Housewives tagline?
Hey, faggots. That's probably it. Something like that.
What keeps you inspired?
Other trans girls. Other trans people.
What's a song that you can't listen to again the same way because of drag?
Kill the Name. Too many girls performed it. I can't listen to Grimes, really. A lot of reasons, but that's a big one.
All right, those are all the questions we have for today. Thanks, Irregular Girl.
Bye. See you later.
What is it to take care of yourself? Getting paid, getting laid, getting married, getting pregnant, fighting for visibility in your market, realizing your potential, being healthy, being clean, not making a fool of yourself, not hurting yourself, shaving in all the right places. What am I taking care of? I'm lying in our bed and unable to sleep, reaching a state of absolute dependence, in a restless half dream, like the jam without a spoon, and I grab my cunt with my hand that isn't clean. Am I loving myself now? Am I mothering myself? Am I taking care of myself now? I imagine you're doing the same, holding on to your soft dick. It lies in the hand where it dares stay soft. It lies in the hand where it dares stay soft. Could I be that for you? Could I be that for you? The cupping hand on the soft dick. Can I give you that which sometimes expects nothing? Accepting restlessness, accepting no direction, accepting this fearful wanting that isn't desire. Not going nowhere. A warm place, can we go there? We don't have to fuck, can we just lie here being? I give you this hand, 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 I give you this hand. I don't mean to make you jealous, but I can't help it if I do. I don't mean to make you jealous, I don't mean to break the rules. I know you feel some type of way, that's why you're back here in my space. But sorry if I made you could've bossed up all the opportunities you tossed up. Too intimidated by a raw one. Now it's gonna cost you a pretty penny. Cause I ain't even your girl no more. I ain't even your girl no more. And I was never your property. Take a minute when you leave to think about it. I'ma turn heads, make them drop dead. Hear what I said. When I walk in, I get attention. It's just the way I live. You never really liked that, did you? You never liked the way I bite back, did you? Now you go back, cause your ego was sore. But I'm not even your girl no more. Think about it.
All right, y'all. That was our show. I hope y'all had a good time. I hope y'all were present in the moment as we watch people be the moment. Thank you all again for being here. Don't forget to pay our cover, to support the dolls and support the Brave Space Alliance. I'm so full of gratitude. It's really hard these days to remain resilient and to remind ourselves that there's hope in the world and that there's magic in the world. And I hope you were able to feel that, at least momentarily, while you're watching the moment and being here with us. I am so full of love for this community, and so fiercely protective of it. And for as much as you all support and uplift me, I'm going to make sure that I return that investment tenfold. So thank you for supporting the show. Tune in for our next installment, and make sure again you continue to support the Brave Space Alliance and support local drag performers, and remember that your power is something that no one can take away. Love y'all.